Hi guys, my name is Amanda Gonzalez. I'm a teacher. I did my whole education degree to study to be a teacher while I was having my two children. So I'm going to be showing you how to study and how to set things up so that it can be a success. All right, even with a little bit of time and maybe a lot of challenges. Right, so the first thing that you need to do when you are studying is you need to own it. These exams, preparation for the exams, this is your responsibility. This is your dig. So you need to make sure that you're the one taking responsibility for it and that you prepare for it. You can do this even if you might feel a little bit behind or overwhelmed. Stop and just take stock, okay? Right, then the next thing that you're going to be doing is you need to calm your farm. A small amount of stress can help you get things done and push you to really give your best, but too much stress can actually cause damage. You need to make sure that you are determined enough, but that you are not stressing and feeling overwhelmed. Make sure that during the whole studying process, you are getting enough rest. There's a story about two guys with axes that were busy chopping down trees, and they weren't both competing. The one guy was competing and he was checking what the other guy was doing, and every time he saw him chopping down wood and chopping down trees, he was like counting how many trees he had done. And this other guy was really competitive and he was like chopping, and at lunchtime he would skip lunch because he was just trying to beat the other guy's record, and he just wasn't. The other guy was just absolutely beating him. And after a couple of days, he went and he asked the guy, how is it that you work less than I do, but you still get so much done? And the guy said, during my breaks, when I sit and it looks like I'm not doing anything, I'm actually busy sharpening my axe. And so when I work, I'm actually more effective. So make sure that even though you're studying and you're working and this is a hectic season, make sure that you take breaks in between so that you're still feeling fresh. You're sharpening that axe so that when you work, you're actually more effective. And then the third step is to make a plan. Okay, so our first step in our making a plan situation is going to be to make a list of all of your subjects. Even if you really feel super behind, you should be able to get this right. Okay, so just make a list of all of your subjects. Then after that, when you get your exam timetable, what you're going to do is you're going to take those subjects and the dates that you've got for the exams, and you're going to plot the exam dates into your calendar, right? Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take each subject, go from the first one that you write to the last one that you write, and you're going to make a list and you're going to number it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, of all the topics that you have to study. So let's take the example of the chicken. Let's say you're studying the chicken for whatever reason, and you're going to say the chicken, an introduction, and it's for 4 marks. You write that down, number 1. Number 2, the chicken in society, for 5 marks. Number 3, the side effects of overusage of chickens, 8 marks. And you list it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way through, and you also write down how many marks each of those little topics count for, okay? Then you take that whole list and you look at it and you plan, you bunch ones that are similar together, like all of the chickens together and all of the giraffes together and all of the like whatever, and you bunch them together, and then you look at your calendar and you see how much time you've got in between now and writing the exam. If you don't have a date yet, just get started anyway. If you've got that list set out already, that's already going to help you a lot, okay? And so you're going to go and you're going to decide, all right, on this day I'm going to study this chunk, on this day I'm going to study this chunk, okay? And you plan that out in your calendar so you can see it. Stick it up somewhere where you can see it, in your bathroom, in your bedroom, in front of, on the TV. Just stick it right on the TV. The whole family must be committed to you studying for these exams, okay? And then what you do next is that you make a little grid. It's like just a little, looks here, this is my super messy one, okay? No judges, no judges. Like a little grid thing like this. This is all going to be a mirror version because I'm using my selfie mode on my phone, okay? But it's just numbers, okay? Here I've done like little stickers for all the ones that I've gotten, okay? This is just for people who don't want to study and need to really feel like they're getting stuff done so they don't get demotivated, okay? So you do numbers for every single one of the topics that you have to study for that subject. Then every time you finish studying that topic, you cross it off on your grid. So then you can see, okay, I had 40 topics to study. Now I've crossed off 40, 39. Crossed off 39, 38. And you just keep going because that helps you stay motivated so that you know that I'm making progress in this thing, okay? So you make the grid, you make the list, In that process, you're obviously going to make sure that you've got all the materials, okay? Plan in advance. When I was in high school, I was Little Miss lastminute.com, 100%. And I passed my exams, but I didn't pass super well. When I was studying teaching and I was doing university level stuff, I had no time. So I had to make sure that I was really effective with the time usage. And when I was using it well and I was studying effectively, I actually did really, really well. I did much better at university level than I did at school because I used my time better. So you can just skip that part of not doing well and you can just really do super well if you just listen to this, okay? Right, so that's your next thing, is that you're gonna be doing that grid so that you can tick it off, and it can also help you to just feel like you're making more progress with your work, okay? Then, while you're doing that, make sure that any work that you struggle with, put that in a separate section, maybe make a list or whatever, and then make sure that you go back to that before the exam. If you get stuck, so if you start on something and you realize, like this is actually just killing my soul, I'm not getting through it, rather put it aside, get back to it, rather than getting stuck on that and you know that in, 3 steps down the line, there's stuff that you're really confident with, that you won't get to it because you'll be so demotivated. So if there's something that you're really not getting, rather put it aside, organize that you meet with one of, those boffins in your class, everyone's got a couple of them, and you say, please can we just meet? Don't be shy, don't feel pride, now is not the time for that. Go and ask for help, ask your teacher, please can you just explain this to me one more time? And go through it, make notes, make a recording. If you've got a phone or anything like that, while the person's talking, your teacher, your friend, whatever, record it. Because you can often forget the steps later. You think, oh yeah, I know that. And then afterwards, you can't remember it anymore. Right, then the next thing is study in a way that makes sense and that works for you, okay? If you're an audio learner, so you're a learner that remembers by hearing, then speak out loud while you're studying. Don't just sit and do it the way that everyone else does it. Say it out loud. Walk around wherever you are. Try and walk around and say it out loud so you can hear yourself. Again, you can make voice recordings if you've got access to a phone or something like that. And then instead of listening to music whenever, you can actually listen to yourself explaining the notes, and that's going to help you get it into your memory. If you are a visual learner, then definitely mind maps are a great way to go. I'm very visual. I studied my whole degree just using mind maps. I didn't use many full sentences. When I was writing, I obviously did, but when I was studying, I just had mind maps for everything. Remember that a lot of the long questions that you have to answer might be for 20 points, and if you can just remember the 10 main topics and 1 point for each one, you've got 20 marks. And the easiest way to remember all of those different points is to just mind map it, use color, use pictures. Don't make it perfect. Don't get stuck on trying to get every little detail pretty. Just as long as you remember it, it's served its purpose, and do that, okay? If you are a person who likes movement and you can't sit still and study, then again, walk around. Maybe there was a friend of mine who studied medicine, and whenever he was studying, he'd bounce a bouncing ball, and that would actually help him to focus and to remember the work that he had to study. If it doesn't help you, then don't do it. So if you play with a bouncing ball and you completely forget what you're doing, then chuck that ball away, please, and rather do what works for you, okay? One of the best ways to understand difficult concepts is to actually teach it or explain it to someone else. So if you're doing, for example, especially in maths or geography or physics or one of those where there's concepts that you have to understand, then get someone, anyone will do, and explain it to them. Try and make it as simple as possible, okay? Explain it to them when they ask questions. All of that's going to actually help you solidify that information and remember it. And then when you have to write the answer down, it's much easier for you to do it, okay? Couple of tips. When you sit down to study, if you have a phone, do not have your phone with you. Put it away. That thing is not going to help you. It is not your friend, okay? Don't think, I'm just going to quickly check TikTok or Instagram or whatever for 2 minutes. You are lying to yourself. Put that phone away, okay? Put it far away. Switch the TV off. If you have to have your phone with you for whatever reason, put it on airplane mode, nothing else. I find my phone distracted me so much, so make sure that you put that away. If you're feeling tired at a time when it's not like time for sleep, you're just feeling bleh, then don't go on your phone, don't watch something on TV and think, oh, I'm just going to relax a bit. It totally brings your energy levels down. If it is tired, like you didn't sleep well or whatever, then have a power nap. But otherwise, rather go for a walk, do some exercise, I know no one feels like doing that, but it actually works. So do like some skipping or something like that. That will actually be way better for your brain and your concentration than going and watching TV or anything like that. Now, this has been a crazy time for studying, but remember that no matter how far behind you may feel, these exams have not happened yet, and there is still time. If you really push through, you get your plan put out, and you start working on it today or as soon as possible, you can still have really successful exams. And at the end of the day, you are the one that can make that change. A lot of different things can happen in our lives that make it difficult. We all have different obstacles, but you can still make a success out of it. Even though it's difficult, remember that there are lots of people who really want you to succeed. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like it's all too much, don't stay alone, don't stay quiet about it. Go and speak to someone and get help. And if the first person can't help you, keep going until you find someone that can help you. And that is pretty much true for all of life. Guys, good luck with those exams. I hope that you really do super well and that you'll run after your dreams.